Actually, I thought Ellen was the only person that was not able to make it.
You tried so hard to
Is
corner
Ellen
us
not
all
coming?
via email.
Ellen's not.
She had a previous engagement, but
Okay.
she's the only one that had said she wasn't available.
Robert and Sabrina.
Let me text. Good. And I had not heard from John Dozier, but everybody else.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's your pen?
It is.
Let's see if I have Robert Lewis's number. I think I do.
What block of Main Street are we on? The 1700 block? Yes. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I picked the right meter number.
You have customer service? You looking for, you say water number?
No,
No.
it should be parking.
Oh,
Should
parking.
Pick for the right zone.
Yeah. I was trying to remember.
I took Tamika's spot.
I don't have Robert's cell phone.
Yeah. Sabrina said she'd be here.
Yeah, I've texted her. She said she's on her way. Would you like me to ask her how far out? Robert Lewis's number.
How are you?
Yours. Do you have Robert's?
I don't, do you? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, one more week. One more debate.
Yeah.
We've got the environmental debate tomorrow.
It might be a little old,
Yeah.
man, unless he's been changing his number recently.
You should be able to handle that.
Thank you.
It was a short time he was my office landlord.
You want to wait on Sabrina?
If she's,
She was 5 minutes out.
we need to wait a couple more minutes for the fourth member to get here so we can have an official meeting.
Looking for a parking space.
Parking wasn't bad today, though. I didn't have a hard time.
You didn't either.
My new office is very close, which is lovely. Yeah. Not quite walking distance,
First time
but
I've come in here to buy 5, and I hadn't been sweating. Because I usually work out at lunch, you know, and I look like
Oh, yeah, you
hell
didn't
when I
do your
come
lunch
in.
run?
So no, I did actually do it a little bit earlier today, so I spared y'all that.
we just moved out of Olympia and into Arsenal Hill for our office. And it's so much more pleasant and pedestrian friendly.
Is it?
And, you know, I can actually like go walk around and like, we can see the governor's mansion from our office, so I can go walk the grounds, make conference pleasant. At least that's pleasant, because Olympia was just getting, I couldn't handle it.
Too much.
Yeah, it was just.
Whether or not to have it.
Part of that's, but maybe foot traffic that I see. Great having the activity, but
It
there's
is,
not
but
a
the
lot.
infrastructure's not there to support it. Like, I mean,
Okay.
South Assembly,
Yeah.
it's such a mess. And the old office was at 701 Whaley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, half the time we couldn't even get out of the parking lot.
I'm sure.
You know, and then there'd be the trains, you'd get kind of hemmed in.
I love that facility.
It's
It's
beautiful.
really deep.
I do miss this space, like, it's really pretty. But, and the venues are popular now, they'll be like afternoon weddings. They'd be like trying to work, and there'd be a
Party going on.
4 o'clock wedding. I was like,
Time to go party.
our new office is much quieter.
Where is it?
It's on Richland, in between Wayne and Gadsden. And I live on Gadsden, but on the Earlwood side, so it's like 6 minutes door to door. I can even, it's on the bus route too, from my house. If it came more than once an hour, it would be super uber convenient.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how long Gadsden was till I was delivering a sign the other day, and it was something like 3,400 Gadsden, and I drove and drove and drove and drove.
Yeah, I'm on the 3100 block.
3,100.
So yeah, I mean, it, all the way to Vista to,
Yeah, that's way,
Earlwood.
long street.
we have a lot of like parks and governor's mansions and
Yeah,
things and breaking it up.
yeah.
Her in the hallway.
Could be.
It sounded like her. Get her in here if so.
Yeah, do we need quorum for anything?
We have one member coming, but let's go ahead and in the interest of time, to start the meeting, and we've got some very special guests with us today to brief us on a project that I think is a linchpin project for the development of Bull Street. And I'd like for Missy to introduce our speakers.
Well, I actually haven't met them, but I hear y'all are making your rounds of the city. We're glad to have y'all in town. Heard a lot about Clackham Properties, and we're excited to see what you have planned for Babcock. So with that, if you will introduce yourselves.
Well, my name's Hugh Scheidel. I'm one of the founders of Clackham Properties. My partner, my business partner, is at the building as we speak. So we're putting the finishing touches on our discussions with the contractor. So I'm going to do just a couple of minutes about what we've been up to for the last several years, how we've been trying to make the Rubik's Cube of a cost-effective renovation of an iconic building work. Some challenges in that. We've been able to overcome those challenges. And I would say we've kept a low profile. And that's really kind of who we are constitutionally. We're not really flashy people. We just keep our heads down doing the work. But we feel like we're in the red zone now. That is, it's not done. It's not done until it's done. But we're close enough. The pieces are falling in place, so I'd love to give you a briefing on it. I'm going to do a couple slides on background, then I'm going to turn it over to Katie. She gets to do the fun part of showing you what we're actually going to build, which we're really excited about. So, this is who we are, challenges and opportunities, where we are now, overview and a look ahead. So who's Clackham Properties? We've been in business for 15 years now. We started in Richmond, and we are specialists in historic renovation. We do nothing else. I don't know why we got in this business. Sometimes it's a hard business, but it is a gratifying business because you get to take buildings that have tremendous bones and turn them into something that's really special that can be used today. These are pictures of a mill we did in Charlotte that we just finished, and we've done 4 or 5 buildings in North Carolina. We got our start in Richmond. We did a dozen buildings there. This will be the first one in South Carolina for us, and this building, the Babcock, is different and unique in so many ways relative to this. This is one of 1,000 mills. The Babcock is unique. There is no other Babcock. And so just that fact brings challenges and opportunities, and I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about that.
Where is that mill building in Charlotte?
In Plaza Midwood,
Okay.
yeah. One of the interesting things about Charlotte is they've knocked down all their historic buildings. And so there are very few remaining, and so we were lucky to get this one and just turned it into 149 apartments. So the Rubik's Cube of an adaptive reuse project starts with the bones of the building. And so if you think about the architectural details of this building, it was designed by a gentleman named Kirkbride with a particular view about how to care for the mentally ill. And one of the aspects of his approach was large open spaces, both inside and outside the building. And that was a terrific way to care for patients, but it presents a challenge for a redevelopment. In fact, I believe Kirkbride did 14 or 15 similar buildings around the country. This will be the first one to get historic tax credits. And the challenge is the Secretary of the Interior standards for renovation don't allow you to fill in these wards, these large rooms within the building. And so the corridor loss in this building is far higher than a typical project. So think of corridor loss as space that you have to pay to renovate that you don't get revenue for. So hospitals in general, where you have wide hallways that you can't fill in, have a larger corridor loss. This building has a 40% corridor loss. A typical mill that we would do would have 25% corridor loss. So you've got 60% more corridor loss in this building from the start. So even getting the building for free, you're multiple millions of dollars in the hole just because you can't get the density out of this building that you could out of a kind of a rectangular mill. And so overcoming that challenge, that kind of structural challenge from the get-go has been a big part of what we've been working on. Another challenge that we've had to overcome is the deterioration of the building. It's been abandoned for some time, and weather is taking its toll on the building. And just as a plea to Columbia residents, every time someone goes in that building at night to have fun, it makes it harder for us to renovate. It makes it more expensive for us to renovate. So we have had to deal with the deterioration of the building, which makes the renovation, more expensive and puts you out of balance in this Rubik's Cube. And it's an historically sensitive building, so as I said, it's not a mill. So the State Historic Preservation Officer, the National Park Service are all very keen to know exactly what we're doing. And one aspect of that is the windows. Now, windows are important anytime you do an historic renovation. This building in particular, it's got 1,300 windows. So we had to do a comprehensive survey of the windows where someone has to go out and look at every single window, assess the various pieces, the sashes and the mullions and the glass and the whatnot, to figure out, is this a window that we can save or is this a window that we need to replace? And all the historic authorities and us as well, we want to save as many of the windows as we can. And we assessed at the time that we did that survey that we could save about 65% of the windows. And so the building has deteriorated some since then, but that's our goal, is to save the lion's share of the windows. Other kind of project challenges and opportunities. So obviously we needed to find the right contractor. This is not the kind of work that a regular contractor can do. You can go put up a strip mall. This is not a strip mall. This is specialty work. Let's see, the abandoned building credit. We've been involved in this project for a number of years, and the credit, has sunsetted several times while we've been involved. And whenever the abandoned building credits, or whenever the credit sunsets, that puts downward pressure on the stack of capital that we can put to work. So we've had to make sure that we've had to work to get that extended, and we were part of the process for making this 12 buildings, not one. And so kind of navigating the abandoned building credit has been kind of a time-consuming thing that we've been a part of.
You want to explain the 12 buildings?
Sure. Well, the abandoned building credit program says that you get a credit for up to $500,000 per building. And the states, there was always some dispute about what a building is. And so the state said, well, we don't want to be involved in that. We're going to devolve to the city council level the decision of what a building is. And our architect, Walter, put together the presentation for Columbia City Council to make the case that this is 12 buildings, not one building. And it was developed over a series of campaigns. The buildings stand on their own. They've got means of egress. If you knock the other 11 down, that one building could operate. So we had a very strong case that it was really indeed 12 buildings. And so we get, instead of a $500,000 credit, a $6 million credit. That was a big piece in solving the puzzle. So that's one of the things that the state and city of
Sort
Columbia
of
really helped.
offsets your corridor loss.
Yes, exactly. All the things that we're doing, trying to get the lower construction costs, helping with the tax credits, helps with the corridor loss and the deterioration of the building. It's been a big part of the capital stack. While we've been working on this, the federal historic program eroded. That was not helpful. So it's been, as you can see, pluses and minuses. Where are we now? We have gone through and renegotiated with the Park Service a design that got us a little more square footage. While maintaining, being historically sensitive, we figured out a way with Walter and the State Historic Preservation Officer and the National Park Service to get, I think it was 6% more square footage. That helped. We've assembled a project team that's really expert in this, from architect to historian to contractor to engineers. And we've submitted for a HUD loan. Now, a HUD loan takes a long time. The amount of due diligence is mind-numbing. But your tax dollars are put to good use because there are almost no HUD loans that go bad. So they really put you through the ringer. It takes a long time, but once they say, they invite you to bid, you're pretty much a lock. And we got the invite to bid last spring. And so we've been in the process of proving to them all the things we told them we can do. And we will be submitting our final application for the HUD loan in early December. The plans and specs are here for you to look through if you'd like. It looks like about 4 inches of plans. They're about 95% complete. We're still doing the final tweaks. And we met with the city this morning, meeting with the building officials, making sure that we're going to phase the delivery. So we're going to bring some units on while the building is under construction. We wanted to make sure that we're in sync with the city about how to do that. Make sure that, that we're thinking about fire suppression and all the other things you think about when you're building a building like this, that we're in sync with the city, and that meeting went well. So we're encouraged. We'll be submitting for a building permit soon, before the end of the year. And we're very close to having our term sheets nailed down for both the state and federal tax credits. That's another critical piece. So if you get the tax credits right, you get your HUD loan, you get your building specs, you get your building permit, it won't be too long. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Katie, but before I do that, I want to say something about dates. So we've tried to keep quiet about when we're going to get this done, because we for the longest time, we didn't know when we were going to get it done. Now we have a clearer and clearer picture, but we've purposely fuzzied the dates. So I think we have benefited. I think the project, Bull Street, has benefited by just, let's continue to work. We're in the red zone. We're going to get this done. Don't get too attached to any given date. Things can happen outside of our control, but we're going to get it done. So with that admonition, I'm going to turn it over to Katie.
I get the fun part. I love a clicker. I don't love a podium. All right. Hey guys, I'm Katie. Nice to meet you.
It's being recorded, so we need her to hang
You need-
Oh, I don't talk loud enough. You might regret this in a minute.
recorded.
Okay. I got you. So
We'll
this
play it
is.
back for the grand opening.
Okay. So this is an overview of the project. You can see the size of it. I've got some amenity call-outs in the picture. We're posing to build a pet park, a pool, and a grilling lounge. the way the building is laid out, you've kind of got these little pockets that are appropriately best used as amenity spaces. And then we'll also have, they're not pictured here, but we'll have some walking paths through those trees. And I think most of these are staying. We're saving 38 of the giant historic trees on the site. So we're excited about that. Am I talking into this enough? Oh, that's way better. Sorry. You might not have caught all that. So 146 square feet of living space is what we're going to be building in 208 apartments. It's mainly one bedrooms and two bedrooms. The studios are about 420 square feet on average. The ones are 600, the twos are 800, and the threes are, I think we have a couple big threes that are like 1250. So one of the ways to help with the corridor loss issue is to get units really efficient. And Walter is, I'm going to brag about you for a second. Walter is very, very good at what he does. Most of what you do is historic architecture. So he's designed an awesome project for us. So we're really excited. Lots of green space, lots of parking spaces. I think we're parked either definitely above or at what the requirement is, indoor amenities and outdoor amenities, but there's some cool renderings about those later. This is an example of a unit. So this is a one-bedroom unit. You walk in, you've got a washer, all units have full-size washer and dryer. This one is I wish I could have gotten a picture of what this will look like from the inside, because, and correct me if I'm in the wrong part of the building, but it's got these giant, tall windows with the arches. Am I in the right place? And so when you walk in, you're gonna be flooded with this light, and this building is awesome because of that. The units are gonna be out of this world. The kitchen is gonna have one of these windows. The bathroom is gonna have one of these windows. I mean, this, we're really excited about this project, if you can't tell. This is a two-bedroom unit. This is a very nice two-bedroom unit. And these aren't the day rooms, Walter, right?
It's not really a day room.
Don't tell me I have it in the wrong place on the map.
That's perfect. It's in a corner.
Okay, so these, you walk in and you can't, well, I guess we couldn't break these out into separate units, right? So this had to be one complete unit. So that was the constraint from a historic standpoint. And so what you get is a really awesome unit with it's a two-bedroom, it's got an office, and then it's got these four corners of light, and this is gonna be another spectacular unit. Again, I wish I was able to get pictures of what this looks like today, so you can kind of envision it, but it'll be great. That might have to be my unit. So we have two finished packages. I wanted to give you guys an idea of kind of what these are going to feel like. They're going to have granite and stainless, and we're trying some new stuff as a company. So matte black is trendy, so we're going to do some matte black fixtures and really bring in some modern stuff so that the historic aspects of the building really shine. Let's see. Sarah did a good job on this, on picking out everything. She's with the architect. We've got two schemes, two finished package schemes. Oh, amenities. Okay, so the amenity sections are kind of in stacks. So we've stacked them on 3 floors on either side that you can see kind of in the building layout there. The floor one on the left side has a unit underneath it, so we had to do something kind of quiet. And then we're going to have, the idea was to stack and mix lounges and fitness so that people are encouraged to walk to one another. So if I want to walk to the yoga studio, I'm encouraged to go to different sections of the building, and I have a better chance of meeting my community members and residents and seeing everything. So that was the thought behind that. You can see some renderings of the fitness center down below. So this is a little more information on the amenities, but I think you guys probably want to see the pictures. So that's the pool.
Where's that located?
So that is right, there's kind of two U shapes, I call them. And the pool is in the U shape on the left.
Okay.
Who's that? Uh-oh.
So I
That-
touched it.
No, I touched it. Oh, there we go.
So you really can't see it that much from the exterior. It's kind of tucked away in a courtyard.
You can't see it from the front of the building. So if I'm standing,
Yeah, we're not used to seeing this like part of the building, right?
The front of the building's down at
That's-
the bottom.
that's awesome. I just realized that. Okay, so if I'm so this is the front of the building. This is where you see the giant, the cupola is about right here.
Right.
So your pool is right here, and so it'll be really nice and private for the residents. It won't take away, and this is why the pool has to be kind of tucked away. This building didn't historically have a pool, and so we can't put a big swimming pool out front because it is not historically appropriate. But I think
No, that fits.
to me, it works right there, right? If I don't know, maybe I don't like being out in a bikini in front of buildings, but. So that's the pool. It's, I think this doesn't show some water fountains that, and this is pre-VE. So I'm fighting hard to keep all of these design elements. They're in the price that we have from the contractor now. And we're full steam ahead on the scope. So these are, hopefully here to stay, these design elements. A lot of times you start with a very exciting design and then sometimes things get VE'd, but they work within the budget, so hopefully.
What does that mean?
They get value engineered. Value engineered, I'm sorry. Like what? Alphabet soup. I try to avoid alphabet soup. Should also try to avoid leaving the microphone. So this is the grilling garden, and I'll go back to where this is. So this is, wow, this little light here is great. So this is the grilling garden. So this is kind of another one of these pockets here between these buildings. This is all contiguous, and then this one, well, except for I think building 4 back here. This building is not connected to these. This is kind of one of these little thoroughfare covered awnings, and so you've got a lot of green space. And we thought, what could we put? Since we have a pool over here, what could we put over there? And so this is what we've.
Is that separate building gonna be apartments also, or?
Yes. Yeah. And those are where the lofts are mostly.
Yes.
And those, the dining halls. Those will be great. They'll all be really great units. This is the grilling, oops, I only have one of the grilling garden. So we've got a fire pit right here. We'll have some grills, some seats, and you can see where the building is around it. So this is, the timeline. I'll let you guys look at it for a second, but we're planning to start.
Wait, the cupola's in 3.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm trying to orient the. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this is the cupola, and then it's got, you kind of go out this way. Building 1 and 2 are individual. And building 4 is technically individual. Am I right? And then everything else is contiguous. So the plan is to close and start construction in the first half of 2020. So that's really soon. To me, that's very soon. Hugh said we've been
To
working on
us,
this.
it's not soon enough.
We have done a lot, and we have a lot less, but still some still to do. But we have not changed the first half of 2020 date. We plan to start and close in the first half of 2020. We'll be under construction until phase 1 is delivered. So we're going to deliver this in phases. Phase 1 is this section right here, and this is 66 units and 44,000 feet, and that includes building 2, which is this, again, the standalone dining hall. So that we're planning to deliver in the second half of 2021.
So with the phasing, are you gonna get through all the phases and then people move in? Or will you kind of, as you complete phases, open those up
Yeah.
for residents to move in?
That's a really good question.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, our plan is to, and part of the reason you can't see this here, but there's a parking lot we're building right here is going to be parking, and so we'll kind of start on this corner and kind of work our way.
So it's
Work
not
our
gonna
way
be
over.
awkward for residents living in phase one that like the
Right.
cupola is still.
Right, they won't, the goal for us is that they won't notice that they're living on it, that's the hope, right? And obviously, there'll be some, we'll let them know that the other side of the building is under construction.
Yeah,
and-
like the units that are right up
Right,
against.
right.
Yeah.
When is the cupola scheduled?
That is phase 3, I believe that's the first half of 2022.
Let's see then.
Any issues connecting phase 1 and 2 as you're building phase 3? Logistically, I'm just talking about logistic, if you've got phase 2 open and phase 1 open, you're still under construction
Yeah.
phase 3, which is right in the middle.
Do you want the pointer?
So if I'm an architect. If you look at phase one, sorry. How's that? If you look at phase one, you can see that, and imagine, if you will, the parking lot beyond it as she described. So everyone there's, the wall that is buildings 3 and 4 in phase 3 separates the construction.
Okay.
Right? And then if you go to phase 2, there's going to be a parking lot just to the left of that. So those people, again, can avoid the construction. And the idea is the construction traffic can come and go. You've got a lot of trucks, you've got a lot of people, and then you don't want residents having to deal with that. Noise complaints, et cetera. So they'll be completely separate, and then construction isn't like the tenants any more than the tenants like the construction.
And when you say wall, it's a 20-inch thick masonry. I mean, it's like, not like a wall, it's like a wall. Like,
A real wall.
yes, yeah.
This entire building is built out of 20 to 24 inch thick masonry walls from the ground to the roof. And each of the small rooms, if you noticed in the floor plan, there were big, thick black walls shown. Those are the original walls, and they're masonry, and you'll never hear your neighbor. I'll say that.
Ceiling height, average ceiling height of units.
Tall. How tall? 14 feet, 13 feet?
13.
I was in there this morning before our meeting with the city, and when you walk into this main part of the building here, come on, clicker, it's got a drop ceiling, a ceiling that's built below, kind of like this ceiling. There's mechanical tucked up over it. And the ceiling tiles are missing in a couple of places. And so in a couple of, as you're walking through, you can kind of see how tall the ceiling is. And what I like to do is squint and try to picture it when it's done. And it'll really be a fantastic building. We're really proud to be a part of it.
So phase 1 and 2, will the walking trail and all that be done in that phase?
That is,
The dog park, all that?
the dog park will likely come with the adjacent phases, just because of where it's located.
It's by phase 2,
It's by,
phase 5.
it's kind of right here. And your pool's kind of right here. And then this is where your grilling garden is. And so the way I think about it
Pool-
is,
Okay, go ahead.
is the pool will come online probably with these two phases here. And there's an idea right now to swap these two for that exact reason. Because of the face you're making, no pool? Yeah, no, we're with you. So we're gonna try to think through how we might swap these and think through what that might look like. But what I think about might happen is we'll start here, the grilling garden and everything will get delivered. All of this curb and gutter will go in. These building entrances will be active. Site egress in and out of the building, in and out of the site will be active. And then this is where your construction boundary will be. And so everything over will be construction only. And then, as I think Walter said, or Hugh said, you can really keep everybody happy or as happy as they can be.
And then my second question is lighting, about how many like?
Lots. I mean, HUD is, as Hugh said, very particular, and they're involved in everything from your design to historics. I mean, they underwrite you really well, and so they require, and we want to build a safe site, of course. So we have at least 1 foot candle. I think it's 1 foot candle across the entire site, which is, foot candle is how you measure. It's not this bright, but it's, how would you describe a 1 foot candle?
So 1 foot candle is sort of a standard for a safe parking lot. And which it says across the site, it's not across the entire site.
Like in terms of amount of light?
Yeah.
Right. It's a,
How lit it is. Like, so we don't want people like walking to their car and it being like dark. And is that the question that you're asking, I hope? Okay. Yeah, we
I just
don't.
was curious, yes.
Yeah. We've done a photo, it's called a photometric study, where you you figure out how much light you need and where to make it a safe site.
So it'll
Oh,
be-
that's
it'll
what
be-
they-
It'll
yeah.
be brighter in the parking lots. Like with our shopping centers, we build to a minimum of 4-foot candles. We're actually doing a mixed-use project up in Charlotte right now in the deck where we have 11.
Right.
So 1 foot candle averaged across, probably you're gonna have brighter spots in the project, and I'm assuming that your parking lot will be. Walkways.
That's real important.
Walkways would.
And the
versus-
walking trail.
correct.
Yeah.
Well, and you want to strike the balance between feeling safe, but like also not stadium lights.
Yes,
shining
in your
at you.
window.
Right, like there's a,
You're-
there's a balance to be struck there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Any other questions? Those are good.
Are you having to do a lot of infrastructure improvements? Like, I mean, I can't imagine like the water lines are in great shape there.
Chandler?
It'll all be part of the new infrastructure. They'll connect to the new infrastructure that we're
Tie
putting in.
into some of the work y'all are doing in the roads and,
Exactly.
okay.
And there'll be some additional supporting infrastructure that goes in as part of this project in conjunction with it. Obviously, it's huge, so we have more than one place where we're connecting to water, more than one place where we're connecting to sewer. So we're working in conjunction to make sure that they've got all the infrastructure that they need.
Does the infrastructure include 1 gigabit service from Segra?
Absolutely. So Sager's in all the streets, and they'll be able to tap into that and use that for their infrastructure.
That'll be a selling point, I guarantee you.
That will be huge.
That system has a, what you call it? A monitor on it, not the monitor, what you call the thing that filters out the bad people?
It's like DDoS.
Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. It has a server of some sort that keeps out the
Malware
bad.
thing or something.
Yeah, for the whole.
I am not technical or that technical.
Rents per square foot. What are y'all looking to get out of here?
Let's
Yeah, I was about to
see.
ask.
I think we're maybe $1.75? $1.65 in today's dollars, so
That will
$1.
grow as the project.
That's the hope.
Growing, so when we deliver, it'll be more than one, yeah, more than $1.60.
Yep. I think this is one of the last slides, so I'm. But I like your questions, they're good. So this is obviously not a small project, it's not a simple project. It's one of the biggest projects that I've ever worked on, the most complicated with, moving, all kinds of moving pieces, but I could not, I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but we've got the best team assembled, and stakeholders and support, and without, I'm sure I'm missing people on this list, but without the support of everybody, this wouldn't happen. So it really does take a village. So thank you.
Well, thank you for the great report, and this is something we've been anticipating for a couple of years now. Your reputation preceded you, and we're delighted to meet you in person and see the great work. I was just blown away with the drawings that you had there, of things that are to come in the next
Really
couple
exciting.
of years. And I think it's going to be a project that kicks off the completion of Bull Street. It's going to be the linchpin that keys the rest of the development, and I can't wait to get it done soon, I hope.
We are in line there.
One big one.
You could do it multiple ways.
Oh, do I have another slide? Oh, continue, how can you keep helping? So one challenge we have, with the building still being vacant is, it's dangerous. And so we want to make sure that, I know, I was in a sorority, so I know that you do things and people, get dared to go into buildings, and it's really not a safe place. So if you hear about anybody going into the building, encourage them not to. It's, we're in full hard hat, closed-toed, steel-toed shoes. It's not, we don't want any injuries between now and when we're eagerly starting construction,
Who was
so.
in charge of security there? Is that Hughes, Chandler's? Are y'all doing that? I know Robert used to have cameras out there.
We still have cameras out there. It's been a joint effort between the Department of Mental Health, us, and then also the city. So it is within city property. We have a great presence out on Bull Street, that's generally there. And then it's still owned by the Department of Mental Health, so they do a very good job of making sure that anytime a window is broken, it gets boarded back up. They've got their public safety department that's out there. It is a challenge to keep people out of that building. It's just, the allure of it seems to be, pretty great. But it's a joint effort to keep it boarded up and keep it behind a closed fence.
Anything we can do to help provide that security and back up to the security that you already have, we'd be glad to do that.
I will say that the police on site now have stopped me, and I'm wearing, a hard hat. I look and they've even said, ma'am, but I'm like, I'm okay, I think. So that's it. Unless Hugh or Walter, you guys have anything?
I asked all the,
Yeah, oh no.
anyway, I was really curious about each phase and the garbage unit. Is it gonna be one big can? The area where they're gonna throw the garbage, is each building gonna phase? Yeah, or is it just gonna be one for all?
Right, I'm glad you asked
And
about that.
where is it?
So one thing that we've done, every market, we have apartment communities in different markets. One market that we're in recently is the example project from the beginning, and that's in Mecklenburg County in Charlotte. And they handle trash, valet trash, which I'd never heard of valet
Okay.
trash when I moved there, but it's great. You basically put your, and this is what we're proposing to add, and I don't know if hopefully it exists in this market as well, because somebody's got to provide the service. But basically, you put your trash out in front of your door, and they collect it for you. It's awesome.
Okay.
But you have to remember to put it out on time, which I forget sometimes. And then it goes, they take it to the dumpster, and we have one dumpster corral.
Valid.
Valet trash. That's a good question, though.
Yes,
Trash is,
yes.
yeah.
So are you just gonna have a dumpster crawl, or are you also gonna offer recycling within the solid waste?
We usually do a big dumpster corral, and within that, we have, the way we've done it in the past is we have the receptacles, and then we'll have recycling toters in there. And now, I don't live in one of our projects. At my building that I live in Charlotte, they do recycling and trash collection. It just depends on the servicer you get. And so we'll start interviewing servicers and pick the best service for the project, but
So you put
that's,
the garbage and the recycle in the hallway, on a certain day, they come and pick up.
yeah, and it's,
option.
it's
that's
all,
all. Oh.
it's all has to be
Okay.
kind of,
I
but
got
that is an option. That's
Okay.
what my community does. And I use, I wish I recycled more, but I use the service.
Where are you in the process of selecting the contractor?
We've got a contractor, we've worked with them in the past.
Okay.
And so they're teed up. We met with the contractor and our engineers and designers with the city today.
Oh, good.
We've got somebody on board.
Yep. We have a price. HUD has our cost certification group has the price. We're full steam ahead.
Well, thank y'all for that great report, and then we're excited about getting this project under construction, getting the cupola painted before Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank y'all for coming down to
Thank
do
you.
that.
Thanks for having us.
Chandler, you want to give us an update on the rest of the project?
You're welcome. Oh, you might have used this before, but the laser pointer, game changer.
Perfect. Well, I actually didn't prepare slides, just knowing, really, I think the star of the show is the Babcock project. And so I would like to just commend Clacken Properties and Walter Parks Architects for being here. It is, they really truly have kept their head down and kept working. This is an incredible undertaking. And the amount of effort and energy and time that they have put into this project is really unbelievable. So I'm glad to get to share that with y'all and see what we've been seeing and the progress that they've been making over the past couple of years. The one thing that we kept hearing about was time, and when is this going to get under construction? We've worked on it for a long time, but something that we love about Clacken is that they are not sacrificing quality for time, and you can see in their drawings and in their renderings and in their finished packages what a quality group that they are. And it's something that aligns very closely with the vision for Bull Street. We're not sacrificing quality to get something done quickly, because we want it done right, and we only have one shot to renovate this building. There's only one Babcock, as they said, there's 1,000 textile mills, and those are great projects, but there's only one opportunity to get this done and have it done well and done correctly. So I just wanted to point that out, that what a wonderful job that they've done so far. As just an update on other things going on campus at Bull Street, you guys have probably seen a lot of additional construction at REI. So that infrastructure, the extension of Boyce Street and the extension of Freed Street to Bull, will be finished early January of next year. We'll also turn over the REI Shell building to them beginning of next year for their tenant outfits, and they will open in the spring of 2020, which is something we're really, really excited about. So be on the lookout for that. In the park, we've got irrigation underway now, so there's continued movement there, continued progress. We've done some renovation of existing picnic structures, which are a cool amenity that we'll have there. Merrill Gardens continues with their interior upfits, so they're now upfitting all of their units. They'll open beginning of next year to residents, and that's our first for rent project.
Do you know when they will start renting? I had that question asked Saturday.
They already have a marketing trailer on site, so you can go and get additional information from them about what exactly their time frame is. I know it'll be early next year, but exactly when they're going to start moving people in, I believe is still a little bit to be determined, but probably within January to March of next year. There's also some clearing and grading going on in preparation for the med school, if anybody's seen that, back along Hardin Street. So that's been additional ongoing there. And then the Prophet Dixon project that we talked about last time, amongst many other things, but that will go to the county for a vote on that for the November 5th council meeting. So something else we've continued to see progress on, and hopefully we can get them into this commission meeting in the coming months to give you all an update on what they're working on.
That'd be super.
Yeah.
Lots of things happening.
Yeah, lots of positive momentum.
Where's the Prophet Dixon?
It is right across from the First Base Building and Sagra Park, so across Boyce. Yep.
So residential with retail below.
It'll also have a parking component too, which will be some for residential, and in conjunction with office, there'll be additional people that park there that are office workers, and then the ground level will be dedicated to retail.
Very good.
Any other questions I can answer?
Questions? Thank you, Chandler.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Missy, you have anything else for the commission?
I don't. Talk about the next meeting date.
Our next meeting is scheduled for December the 16th, and we have traditionally not had the December meeting. Is it okay with y'all if we skip over December? We will take that as a yes, and
Okay, so y'all put it on the
We're gonna
agenda,
have
but you're,
November, okay.
you put it on the agenda, but you're moving to eliminate
I
it.
think we put it on there when we were doing the whole year. So, yeah,
so when will be the next meeting? Is that
should be February.
February? Second.
It's the third Monday, so February, I'm sorry, February 17th.
February 17th. Any questions from the commission? Thank y'all for coming, and thank Channel and others for arranging to have this good briefing from Clacking Group. I think that's a very exciting project. Can't wait to, it's even better than I thought it was going to be. And can't wait to get it under construction. We will be adjourned.
For being late, I had a hard